Alex's Caves is finally here, and I can honestly say it's my favorite mod of all time, and I do not say that lightly. I've been following the development for a while, and I'm just so hyped that it's finally released. This mod contains so much content that it could literally be split up into 5 different mods. So, anyway, let's begin. Alex's Caves is a mod that adds 5 new cave biomes to the overworld. Unlike most normal biomes, these cave biomes are exceedingly rare. They all contain a variety of unique blocks, items, mobs, and mechanics that make them considerable subterranean destinations. Each biome added may have its own ambient particles, fog, brightness, lights, color, and more. And because of this, it's recommended to experience the mod without shaders, so I won't be using shaders for this video. The reason for this is because shaders can alter the appearance of several of the biomes. This mod also has built-in compatibility with just enough items and Alex's mobs. There's not a lot of information on the mobs, items, and blocks of this mod posted on the wiki as of yet, because the mod is brand new, so I'll be going off of the in-game information that I found. To get started in the mod and to find any of these cave biomes, you'll need to discover an underground cabin, which can spawn anywhere in the overworld. Maps to this cabin can be located in abandoned mineshaft chests on occasion, and cartographer villagers can also occasionally sell the underground cabin locator maps. From there, you will find loot barrels with cave tablets and a cave compendium. This is a guidebook for the Alex's Caves mod that should provide you with all of the knowledge needed to find and explore any biome added by the mod. Now, it's also worth noting that the biomes in this mod cannot be located with the /locate command. They must be found using the maps that are provided, even in creative mode. The spelunkery table found in the underground cabins can be used to turn the cave tablets into cave codices by translating them into something less arcane. To begin this process, place a tablet and a paper in the spelunkery table and try to guess the correct position of the hidden word using the context of previous guesses. There are only 5 guesses per level in this minigame and 3 levels required to produce a cave codex. If any level is failed at any point or the process of translation is interrupted, the cave tablet will be destroyed. My strategy for doing this is to look for symbols that are identical and just guess 1 or 2 words to begin with. Just use up 2 of your guesses and move the lens over your 2 guesses, and you can see which symbol translates to which letter in the English alphabet, and you can try to match it up by finding which letter is where in each word and kind of try to see if you can get 2 letters side by side. And if that's the case, then you can look for those 2 symbols side by side in the whole page, and then you can try to guess that as your word. Once a cave codex is researched, it can be used for 2 purposes. Simply using the item in your main hand will unlock more info pertaining to the codices biome in the cave compendium. In the cave compendium, there are 4 chapters for every biome that can be unlocked this way, and they are unlocked in the sequential order of general, resources, inhabitants, and utilities. Once all 4 chapters have been unlocked, there is no new information that can be added to the compendium by codices. Luckily, they have a second use. They can be crafted into cave biome maps. Cave biome maps can be crafted with just a single codex and 8 pieces of paper, and can be used to find the nearest biome of the codex's type. Since the biomes added by Alex's Caves are all very rare, these maps can take a long time to load and will display ellipses on their texture while doing so. Once this is done, they will fill up, and if held, they will indicate the rotation of the player relative to the targeted biome. The Magnetic Caves is the first cave biome added by Alex's Caves. It is a dark biome that is illuminated by glowing neodymium crystals. Most of the magnetic caves consist of a stone type called galena, which is iron rich and can be packed and smelted into iron nuggets. The magnetic caves can be dangerous to traverse due to the ferromagnetic properties of chainmail, netherite, and iron armor, and a decent amount of monsters with powerful attacks. Tesla bulbs are electric sources perched on top of galena spires. Lightning can arch out of these and damage nearby mobs. If struck with a projectile or mined, these Tesla bulbs will begin to rapidly pulse, damaging lightning and then explode. Neodymium is the main resource of the magnetic caves, and it comes in 2 different forms: azure, which is a repelling force, and scarlet, which is an attracting force. It can be used to make neodymium ingots, which are useful in several recipes when combined with the drops of the mobs in this biome. The Magnetic Caves is the only biome where magnetic ruins can spawn. These small structures can carry loot and magnets that can inform explorers on the mechanics and contents of the biome. The Notor is a passive hovering creature that attempts to scan any nearby foreign beings. It has 6 HP. Noters will use these scans to build a hologram to report back to monsters in the biome about possible invaders. When killed, Notors can drop a Notor gizmo which is the source of their holographic abilities. The Teletor is a Galena-covered being that meditates over the floor of the caves. It has 18 health points and deals 2 attack damage at base. They may appear calm and collected when they're first sighted, but they are extremely hostile. Above their magnetic heads usually rests an iron tool of some kind. This tool is their main weapon. Teletor can also fly using its magnetic power. When slain, a Teletor can drop a Telecore with some neodymium. The Ferrous Slime is a variant of slime that is adapted to the biome's natural properties. It has 10 HP and 2 attack damage. It is capable of levitating in straight lines on the cardinal axis. It is different to regular slimes in that it is capable of merging with outer ferrous slimes in order to grow in size and strength. They will drop ferrous slime balls when they are slain at the smallest size. The Magnetron is an uncommon, powerful being. It has 30 to 100 HP, 6 armor, and deals 2 attack damage at base. Magnetrons will roll around on their central heart before initiating in any combat. If an intruder is detected, the Magnetron will begin form a giant body around itself. If a sawmill or anvil are present nearby, these will be incorporated into the body as weapons which can increase its damage. Upon death, a heart of iron will drop. The Boundroid is a magnetic-like creature with 20 HP, 20 armor, and 5 attack damage. This being is usually found clinging to the ceiling of the biome with its head dragging below on a chain. If the winch of the Boundroid is shot at while it is on the ceiling, the whole composite creature will fall to the ground shaking. When slain, it will drop a few chains and a heavy weight. Magnets can be crafted from azure or scarlet ingots. Azure ones can move magnetic blocks away from them, and scarlet ones can attract them towards them. The Galena Gauntlet can be used in the offhand with an iron or netherite tool in the main hand. When right-clicked, it will launch the tool forwards, damaging any mobs or mining the block if it matches the tool being used. The Potion of Magnetizing allows the user to be pushed or pulled by magnetic forces without wearing any metal armor. The Holocoder can be used on an entity, and when placed in a hologram projector, a hologram of that entity will be displayed. If it's not bound to an entity, the user will be shown instead. The Magnetic Quarry Smasher can be combined with 4 magnetic lights to automatically mine out an area, and the drops from the mine blocks will come flying out. The Resistor Shield can be used as an ordinary shield that additionally creates a magnetic pulse that damages enemies nearby. It can be toggled by shifting to either repel or attract afflicted enemies. The Primordial Caves is themed around prehistoric life of many kinds. It is kept decently well lit by the Ambersol clustered on the ceiling. This biome usually generates with large open spaces underground, full of the new flora and fauna introduced. The entirety of the rock of the Primordial Caves is made up of limestone with thinner layers of sandstone in between. On the ceiling of the caves, archaic vines hang down next to amber clusters. Ancient jungle trees, curly ferns, cicades, and fly traps cover the landscape. A great feature of this biome is that ambient sounds of dinosaurs and birds can be heard while exploring. Amber monoliths can spawn around the cave, as well as subterranean roosts and primordial structures with cave paintings inside. Limestone can be used to make spears that deal low range damage and melee damage. It can also be stacked. Smooth limestone can be made into cave paintings if charcoal is used on it. Pewin trees are the most common in this biome. They produce pine nuts, which can be eaten. Trilocaris are small arthropods that can be found swimming in lakes and pools. They have 10 HP and 1 attack damage. They are neutral and will only bite if they are attacked first. They can be captured in buckets, and if killed, they will drop a Trilocaris tail. Subterranodon is a large, neutral flying reptile found in roosts on the sides of Primordial Caves. It has 20 HP and 2 attack damage. A Subterranodon can be tamed by feeding it a few Trilocaris tails. When tamed, they can be made to follow, sit, or wander. They can also be ridden, but they can only fly upwards for a short amount of time while carrying a passenger. They can be bred with cod and will produce one of its eggs. Grottoceratops are large dinosaurs that can be often seen eating plants. They have 50 HP and 10 attack damage. They will only attack when attacked themselves. They can be bred using tree stars and will lay a single egg. When slain, they can drop a dinosaur chop and some tough hide. The Relicaris is a massive neutral dinosaur that uncommonly can be seen browsing Pewin trees. It has 120 HP and 12 attack damage. They will nibble on any trees or leaves in their reach. They can be energized by feeding it primordial soup, which will cause it to knock down almost any nearby tree all at once. They can be bred with a tree star and will produce a single large egg. When slain, it will drop many feathers, a few dinosaur chops, and some heavy bones. Velociraptors are pack hunting dinosaurs. They have 28 to 30 HP and 3 attack damage. They are constantly on the prowl for any kind of prey they can find. They will leap great distances to attack their prey with slashing and biting attacks. Usually an elder will be leading the pack, and they can usually be distinguished by their orange markings. If the elder is killed, the pack will usually disperse. They can also open doors and chests with their hands. If a dinosaur nugget is taken from a chest, the raptor will enter a calm state where it can be approached and tamed using a serene salad. If a tamed raptor loses a lot of health in combat, it will enter stealth mode and begin rapidly healing. Tamed raptors can be bred using dinosaur nuggets and will lay a clutch of eggs. The Tremorsaurus is the king of all dinosaurs. It has 150 HP, 8 armor and 14 attack damage. It regularly hunts Grottoceratops and Relicaris. The presence of one of these beasts can be indicated by the earth shaking with its footsteps. The roar of the Tremorsaurus will send most nearby creatures running. It can not only bite large prey but also pick up smaller prey in its jaws and shake them. The process to tame a Tremorsaurus is pretty difficult. It must be repeatedly hit with a primitive club to stun it, then fed serene salad right after. This process must be repeated until the beast is tamed. They can be ridden but are not the quickest. They will attack anything aimed at by the rider. They can be bred by feeding them dinosaur chops and will lay a single egg. When slain, they will drop some dinosaur chops along with heavy bones. Amber monoliths can be crafted to repopulate the nearby animals over the course of a few days. They will also spawn naturally around the biome. The seething stew inflicts rage, which boosts damage dependent on how little health is left. When given to other creatures, it can cause them to attack nearby entities. Heavy bones and tough hide can be used to craft the primordial helmet, tunic and pants. When the full set is equipped and raw meat is eaten, it will provide extra saturation. At the moment, some of the armor textures in this mod are not working correctly, but I believe a patch is on the way, so we'll just have to wait for that. Toxic Caves is a massive underground wasteland home to some dangerous and radioactive monsters. Most of the terrain consists of radrock, which is an irradiated version of stone. This radrock occasionally has ore inside it also. The open spaces of the cave often contain large pits of acid. This dangerous liquid can corrode the armor of anything that enters it. It will then destroy the creature itself. Geothermal vents can also be seen constantly bubbling and spewing out gas. Within the caves are numerous ruins of past industrial and atomic progresses. These often contain loot but may also expose the player to radiation by picking up any radioactive items. Irradiated is an effect that stops all natural healing from occurring. Higher levels of this effect also inflict damage at a constant rate. Sulfur dust is a resource which can be used to create food that can heal the user even with the irradiated effect active. Radgills are mutated fish found swimming through pits of acid. They have 8 HP, they can be captured in a bucket of acid and can also survive in water. It drops itself as an item which can be cooked. The ray cat is a skeletal undead feline kept alive by its radioactive powers. It has 24 HP and 1 attack damage. This mob is intimidating to look at, but completely passive. They can be tamed by feeding them radgills, and they can be helpful by keeping new creepers at a distance and occasionally absorbing the irradiated effective of its owner. They can also be bred with radgills. The new creeper is a highly modified creeper with mechanical and atomic enhancements. It has 30 HP and 100 attack damage. These creepers are slow and take a long time to charge up their explosive ability. It begins with the core of creeper closing and emitting a warning sign with flashing lights. Once the core closes, an atomic explosion will devastate the area, so these creepers must be destroyed before that happens. It can drop some gunpowder and occasionally a fissile core when it's defeated. The Brainiac is a monstrous mutant made of several monsters. It has 40 HP, 8 armor, and 5 attack damage. They are fast, aggressive, and strong with a large tongue that can whip targets from a distance. They usually carry a waste drum which they can either drink to heal themselves or use as a ranged attack. Its attacks have a chance of dealing the irradiated effect. If slain, a Brainiac can drop rotten flesh and soylent green which can be drank to heal even when irradiated is applied. They can also drop a charred remnant. The Gamma Roach is a gigantic cockroach. It has 14 HP and 2 attack damage. They are initially neutral, however they will attack anything that is irradiated. When injured, they can release a cloud of radioactive gas as a defense. They can sometimes flee from battle to find a stronger monster and pick it up just to drop it off at the target. When slain, they can drop some toxic paste. Polymer plates can be crafted and assembled into hazmat armor which lowers the damage and effects of irradiated and acid. It can also be used to create the remote detonator which can activate marked explosives from elsewhere in the world. When crafted with fissile core and some uranium rods, they can also be crafted into the ray gun. This is a ranged weapon which shoots a beam of radioactive energy that damages all entities in its path very quickly. They require uranium rods as their fuel. The most dangerous item of the Toxic Caves is the nuclear bomb. This bomb will create a truly massive explosion that destroys almost all blocks in any nearby area. It deals thousands of damage and inflicts irradiated 3. The Abyssal Chasm is found deep in the world, but unlike other caves, it is covered by water instead of stone. It is found under ocean biomes and appears as a massive trench where light barely penetrates. The trench walls are lined with abyssmarine, which is a stone-like block. The abyssal floor is covered in a thick layer of muck. There are many sea life specimens including mussels and sea anemones located in the biome. Undersea mounts made of tuff can be seen rising from the depths. Tube worm colonies are nearby to feed off of them. On the ocean floor, skeletons of long dead beasts can also be found. There are research posts created by ancient faction that can also be discovered along with more mysterious ruins. Mussels can be found growing on any surface. They can spread and also be used as a food source. There is a chance for a mussel to drop one of its precious pearls, which can be made into an abyssal altar, and this is used to offer something to the strange beings of the biome. The lanternfish is the smallest fish in the Abyssal Chasm. Large shoals of them can spawn throughout the waters of the biome. They only have 2 HP. The shoals move closer to the surface at night, making them a convenient way to find abyssal chasms. When slain, a lanternfish will drop itself and can be cooked. Sea pigs are gelatinous invertebrates found on the seafloor within the Abyssal Chasm. They have 8 HP, and they shift through the muck looking for anything edible. They will drop themselves when they die, and they can also be eaten, though their flesh is poisonous. When fed muck, clay, or a ball of mud, they digest the item and may return bone meal, sea glass shards, pearls, or even marine snow. Gossamer worms are large worms found swimming around the waters of the chasm. They have 10 HP, and they are the favorite treat of the hullbreaker. When slain, they can drop bioluminescence. The tripod fish is a bizarre fish found near the seafloor. It has 8 HP, and they can often be seen resting on 3 large spines emerging from their fins. When slain, they drop themselves and they can be cooked. Mine guardians are mechanical beings that are always chained to an anchor on the floor. They have 20 HP and 15 attack damage. Every so often, mine guardians will open their single eye to scan for targets. If a target gets close, the mine guardian will float towards them and explode. If slain before exploding, they can drop a depth charge, which can be thrown to create a small explosion, which destroys blocks even when underwater. The deep ones are mysterious beings. There are 3 different species of them. They have 30 HP and 3 attack damage. The 3 species live in peace with one another. They are wary of outsiders and will follow and stalk any intruders. They will also attempt to flee if they are spotted. If spotted, they will toss an ink bomb and then disappear from sight. And if hurt, their opinion of the attacker for all of their kind will lower, and they will eventually become hostile to the intruder. Placing a pearl on an abyssal altar near them can cause an exchange of goods, which will improve based on their opinion of you. After gaining a favorable opinion, they will no longer flee and may even assist in combat. They may offer a gazing pearl as an exchange at an altar. Deep One Knights are a variant with 60 HP and 5 attack damage at base. They usually carry a trident or an ortho lance, which is their weapon. They offer different items in exchange compared to the standard deep ones. Their offers include ortho lances, tridents, armor, prismarine, and even a magic conch. Deep One mages are the third variant of Deep One. They have 80 HP and 4 attack damage. Mages have powerful control over water magic. They are capable of summoning bolts of water to pummel enemies. They can also bring forth a barrage of waves to damage multiple attackers. A third attack is a giant bubble which can drown land dwellers. The mages' exchange items include nautilus shells, bottles of enchanting, and even the sea staff. The Hullbreaker is a colossal fish over 15 blocks long, and it has 400 HP and 14 attack damage. Being a predator, it is adapted to hunt exclusively in dark waters, seeking out any glowing entity. It uses its massive teeth to bite prey, or its head as a battering ram. Although rarely beaten in combat, it will spew out what it has eaten before dying. This includes ink sacs, but may also be remains of submarines, such as the enigmatic machine. If a hullbreaker is spotted while in a submarine, the lights must be immediately turned off until the creature passes. Marine snow produced by sea pigs can be used to bring dead corals back to life and grow other sea life. Bioluminescence can be brewed into a potion of glowing or crafted into a floater, which allows the user to reach the surface in seconds, or crafted into bioluminescence torches, which will glow underwater. Diving suit armor can be seen on some drowned that appear in the chasm, and this armor may also appear in abyssal ruin chests. The helmet grants 40 seconds of water breathing, the chestplate has additional toughness, the leggings grant extra swim speed, and the boots allow faster speed in muck. The ruins can occasionally hold a submarine, which can be repaired using copper ingots, and the oxidization can be removed with an axe. Submarines are a constant amount of air, making them one of the safest options to get around the chasm. The submarines can also be assembled, but require a lot of materials. The gazing pearl can be useful to keep track of the deep one's opinion of you. It changes color depending on their mood towards the outsider looking at it. The magic conch can be blown to summon deep ones to aid in combat anywhere in the world. Forlorn Hollows is an underground cavern system engulfed with pure darkness. Almost no light shines here, as the biome is naturally shrouded in a thick shadow. The cave is covered in guana stone, and some of this has also turned into another rock called coprolith. The roof of the Forlorn Hollows is thornwood trees. Care must be taken when using light in the cave, as all the animals have been twisted by dark powers. Glue moths are large, passive insects found in the darkness. They have 4 HP, and they will naturally seek out light sources because it is part of how they navigate. When they land, they can draw attention from predators, which is the real threat in the darkness. When slain, it can drop moth dust. Corrodents are fossorial rodents found tunneling through walls and floors of the Forlorn Hollows. They have 15 HP, 2 armor, and 3 attack damage. These hostile beasts will emerge when they detect prey. They can be difficult to fight because of their maneuverability, but they are deathly afraid of light. Placing a light source near them will scare them, and they will try to flee. During this time, they can be slain. They can drop coarse dirt and corroding teeth. Vespers are gigantic bats twisted by the darkness. They have 16 HP and 3 attack damage. They can be found pursuing glue moths or hanging on the ceiling. They will continuously swoop in and out of the darkness to deal damage. If blocked with a shield, they will be temporarily grounded. If slain, they can drop a Vesper wing and some guano. Underzealots are intelligent mole-like cultists found wandering the Forlorn Hollows. They have 20 HP and 4 attack damage. They have low detection range but will burrow underground and appear somewhere else after their attack. They fear light and will break any nearby light sources they can find. They can sometimes perform a ritual on a glow moth to warp it into a darker, new kind of monster. Sometimes because of their poor vision, they can convert a different flying mob, and even they can't control this new creature. When slain, the Underzealot will drop some dark tatters and rarely a desolate dagger. The Watcher is the result of Underzealots sacrificing a glow moth. It has 30 HP and 4 attack damage. They will seek out adventurers over a large distance and begin stalking them. They possess their target and force them to see the world from the Watcher's perspective. During this, the target can't move, and the moth face appears in their vision. When slain, it will drop some dark tatters with an occasional occult gem. Forsaken are the most powerful monsters in the Forlorn Hollows. They have 250 HP and 6 attack damage. They are created through the Underzealot's ritual on a Vesper. They are hostile towards almost anything not from the Forlorn Hollows and will eat as many glue moths as possible. They have a vast array of attacks, which include a large smash with their upper arms, lifting prey to their mouth to bite them, emitting long-range sonic blasts, and also a short-range blast that damages all nearby hostiles in close range. When brought down to low health, it becomes pitch black except for its eyes. When in this state, it will heal as long as it's out of direct light. If slain, it will drop pure darkness. Moth dust dropped by glue moths can be thrown at creatures to become scent marked as a moth, and most creatures in the cave will then attack it. The totem of possession can be bound to any creature by hitting it. Once bound, that creature can be controlled by holding the totem and looking where the mob should move. The beholder works by binding another occult gem to it, and using it anywhere in the world will allow the user to see through the eye of the beholder. The teeth of the Croton can be brewed into a haste potion. Burrowing arrows can be used to chew through and mine up to 5 blocks. Dreadbows load arrows slower than normal bows, but when fired, a volley of multitudes of arrows will fall from above the target. Shadow silk can be used to create the hood and cloak of darkness. When both pieces of armor are worn, a meter appears showing the current darkness power, which increases by avoiding light. If this meter is full, the user can fly for 10 seconds as long as they stay in darkness. To increase the length of the effect, a darkened apple can be eaten. And that is the Alex's Caves mod. This mod is just simply incredible and contains enough content to keep you entertained for a super long time. The best part is that it's a vanilla complementing mod that doesn't impact the base game too much due to the rarity of the caves and the balanced features of each biome. I cannot compliment this mod enough, so if you want to check it out for yourself, it's available down in the description to download. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.